Good evening. I'm Will Yopes, a tabletop game designer from Boston, Massachusetts, America, here with the Brain Trust Daily, your source for gamer shit and things like that. Tonight on the show, is Game PDF, the rising independence of gamer country, and more. But at the top of the hour, let's check in with correspondent Adam Vass, who's discovered a portal to itch.io. Adam, what's going on here?
Yes, hi everybody. My name's Adam Vass. I'm a tabletop game designer in Glendale, California, and I'm here at itch.io, the website notoriously hosting all sorts of great indie video games, and as of late, hosting the best and brightest in tabletop games. As you can see, there seems to be some sort of issue forming with itch.io. The portal itself seems to be breaching, and we have all kinds of leaking, and who knows what's coming out of here. Just some...
Adam, it looks like the games are collating together in some sort of bundle. What's going on there?
Yeah, we put our brightest minds on it, and we wanted to sort of solve the problem before it got unsolvable. And of course, we asked all of the greatest scientists in the tabletop community to join us for what is known as the Brain Trust Science Fair, the first Brain Trust Science Fair.
It's inaugural. Let's not cut any bones about it. This is the first inaugural Brain Trust Science Fair, and if I'm getting you right, a collection of tabletop game designers through the Brain Trust project thing that we do. It's got a little bundle going on.
It sure does, and we've got over 20 of the... I forgot to do the count. We have a lot of games available.
I'll count right now.
Okay. We have a really great selection of tabletop games, the most creative, the most innovative from some of the best and brightest minds of our generation. We have first-time creators, we have legacy creators, we have contributors from all around the place. And with our brains combined, we're pretty much unstoppable at this point.
So before we lose too much of the conceit of this video right now, that's 23 games for $40, and for a Black Friday weekend, Itch is taking no cuts. So as a pure even profit share, we're sharing it with everybody.
That's right. Well, everyone involved in the Brain Trust is getting their fair share of the income raised from this fantastic bundle where you can get 23 tabletop games for only $40.
That's a huge value deal. And through this week, I'm sure we'll hear more from the designers themselves about what makes their game so interesting and what's creating this rift from itch.io to our reality.
Yes, I'd like to check in with our researcher, Adam Bell, to explain more of the scientific nature of these portal breaches and the creative nature of all these games involved.
Thank you, Adam. And Adam, thank you. What else? What else do we do?
I feel like that's good. Let's cut.
Thank you, Will, and thank you, Adam. It appears the breaches are not a localized phenomenon. There's one here as well. I've been able to hook up this knob to it, and perhaps we can get something.
Dice, every gamer's best friend. We love all dice. There's flat dice. There's clicky dice. Playing cards? That's just paper dice. And that's because dice is just math. Colorful, smooth, tasty little math rocks. But what if there was more? We here at Blooperly Labs have been innovating, game-changing, synthesizing. Today, in cooperation with the Brain Trust, we ask a new question. What if no dice is also dice? Our newest product answers this question decisively. Our Queen Crumbles is a bold leap in RPG technology. Removing the dice has allowed us to make the game several millimeters thinner. We have also increased the resolution of the game's front-facing camera, making this the world's most useful role-playing game. Welcome to the cutting edge of game design. Play as the Knight of Whispers, the Gravity Witch, the Hangman Golem, or the Bloody Historian. A melancholy fantasy road trip. No dice, just words. This is the Brain Trust Science Fair. 20 of the galaxy's most innovative games from a world-class design community. On sale now.
One of you is a highly advanced combat mech, given adaptive artificial intelligence that learns and grows alongside the one it bonds with. The other is a specialized pilot, trained and chosen to fight alongside and bond with this mech. As you've completed missions, fought in battles, and spent time together, the two of you are fully in sync, and closer than any other relationship you've had. Your platoon has lost the battle and must retreat as enemy reinforcements are on their way. The pilot proposes a diversion, lure the reinforcements away from the fleeing troops. You both will activate a distress beacon and stall the front line. Given the situation, your commanding officers accept your proposal. You two now wait around a campfire, the beacon pinging quietly. In these final moments, a conversation strikes up. In these final moments, the pilot looks to the past, bringing up memories that they shared with the mech. The pilot is looking to laugh with their friend before the end. The pilot is ready to die for this mission. They have already resigned to their fate and wishes to help their friend move on as well. They have accepted their sacrifice, but is worried the mech won't let them die, or does not understand what death is. To the pilot, their mech is more than a machine, and more than a companion. In these final moments, the mech looks to the future, even when reminiscing on past events. They ask the pilot questions about their life. The mech does not see itself as the subject of its own memories, but as an observer of the pilot's life. The mech is oblivious to the fate of their pilot, and does not see this mission as a sacrifice. The mech does not grasp its own death or loss, but in truth, it has grown enough that it is just in denial. A part of you is not ready to accept that your time is over. The fire flickers between you is a game for two players for around 40 minutes, about the bond between a pilot and mech, and the last night they'll spend together. This game has players lighting, placing, moving, and putting out candles as you reminisce about your friendship, what it means to sacrifice yourself, and whether or not you're ready to let go of each other. This game uses fire and asks you to interact closely to hot wax and open flames. Please be safe. The game ends when all the candles on the table burn out, even if you're in the middle of a conversation. At this point, the enemy arrives, and you must face your fate. The game is over.
Hi, I'm Tyler Crumrine, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I like tabletop role-playing games. Whether it's the sprawling fantasy worlds of Dungeons & Dragons, or the nuanced cyberpunk future of games like Cyberpunk. There's something out there for everyone. Sometimes I find, though, that I spend a little more time preparing to play RPGs than actually playing them. That's why I designed Beak, Feather, and Bone, a map labeling RPG where you and your players, no GM required, go through an unlabeled map and flesh out a setting all together, including NPCs and various power struggles found within your city. All you need is an unlabeled map, a standard set of playing cards, and a couple of coloring utensils to get you by. Once you have those, though, you'll be all set to create a fantasy or futuristic or, heck, even modern day setting all your own. And your players will be that much more invested in finding out what lies behind that door, given that they played a small role in determining it. Anyway, it's a game that I'm very proud of, and you will be too. Proud of yourself, that is, for spending money to buy all these wonderful games in the Brain Trust Science Fair Bundle Project Science Fair Bundle.
Hail Poseidon, we call to you. Come into this realm. Bless us with your waters. Hail Poseidon. Hail Poseidon, we call to you. Come into this realm. Bless us with your waters. Hail Poseidon.
Water, Water Everywhere is a game about belief, abuse, and deicide. 5 players gather together, with one playing the god Poseidon himself. The other 4 are worshippers who have angered him, who must run around collecting gifts for Poseidon, until eventually they can take no more, and must rise up against him. This is a game of blasphemy and of power.
This is a game about the whims of Poseidon, which can only end with his death.
Are you worried about your lack of fruit consumption? Do you want to build an entire culture from the ground up by arguing with your friends? Play Fruit of Law, a free-form game about elders setting down rules for future generations based on the history of your people. And then you will need rules to protect your rules to ensure they multiply like many seeds. Pomegranate not included.
Those are some incredible games by incredible designers. Let's see 3 more from Jeremy Gage, Max V, and Adavas and me. So let's keep it going.
Find the Forgotten Lore of Avrakin. Delver's Guild is a game powered by the Blades in the Dark systems about a team of adventure archaeologists known as Delvers. Race against the fronts of the world who seek to obtain the secrets and powers that lay hidden in the ancient mega-dungeons, dense and savage jungles, icy deserts, and so much more. Grow in your rank within the guild and build your own legend on your findings. Doing so will give you the practice and experience necessary to master your control of the Hex, the mix of intense positive and negative energies given shape and purpose through incantation. The game requires multiple 6-sided dice, along with tools for capturing notes or ideas, map making, such as note cards, pens, and pencils. This game is still in alpha phase of its development. Early purchase is very much appreciated and helps to push the game along its pipeline. In addition, it allows the benefit of getting early access at a massively discounted rate than compared to when the final version is presented. Any feedback is welcome to the game, so please leave comments about what you think. Thank you for your patronage. Sincerely, myself, Jeremy Gage.
Hexing Wizards is a cooperative hex quoting game. You create your hexes by cutting out little hex-shaped spells out of your favorite printed media, like comic books, manga, or National Geographic magazines. Then you put the hexes around an enemy hex, which could be a magical challenge or an actual evil wizard. And then you interpret the spells that you put into a unique story with your friend. And this is it. Hexing Wizards. Thank you. Thank you.
Dear Will Yobst, game designer from Boston, Massachusetts, America, how are you doing? Are you well? I've had the most marvelous idea. Please correspond with me soon. Adam Vass, a tabletop game designer in Glendale, California.
Dearest Adam Vass, game designer from Glendale upon Southern California, I'm well. I hope you yourself are fine and well and in good shape. Please tell me your idea. It marvels me so. You know your little baubles interest me, Adam Vass. Thank you. Please respond quickly.
I'm intrigued by the concept of a role-playing game that we could perform around a pentagram. Just one big one.
I have an idea for this pentagram. Perhaps we are revolutionaries fighting in a resistance against the French aristocracy.
I like this idea, and maybe even we could integrate troop-style play so characters are owned by all of the players, and we could control different characters over the story progress.
And these characters, I have a feeling they are modularly upgraded through play based on how much action and story that character themselves experience, creating a self-generative process of main charactership.
Yup. You can find A Guide to Casting Phantoms in the Revolution by Adam Vass and Will Yobst at worldchamp.io for the physical edition and worldchampgameco.itch.io for the digital edition.
Pilot's Light, more than just the thing in your dad's stove. A hack of Jared Sinclair's What's So Cool About Outer Space. Pilot's Light asks players to become mech pilots and their small AI companions. Using the spaciest die discovered through extensive polling and an exploration of the scientific method, this game uses the unduly underrated D4. Pilot's Light explores an interaction of a fiction where a pilot is struggling to carry out their duties and survive in a war-torn landscape outside their mech, but while in their mech are able to accomplish incredible feats of heroism otherwise impossible. This is achieved mechanically through the distinction of two individual but networked mechanical systems for each mode of play. Pulling on inspiration from Titanfall, Destiny, and the like, Pilot's Light is able to facilitate your space fantasy with your group. Play to find out.
Hi, everyone. My name is John Geary, also known as @GayHalfOrc on the internet. My offering for the Brain Trust Science Fair is the third issue of my lyrical RPG zine, Mindwalk. Mindwalk is filled with random tables and prompts and questions you can use as a standalone single-player game or as supplemental content for your favorite RPGs. In this issue, you explore a ruined city by answering questions, rolling on tables, and abstracting a traditional RPG city crawl. It uses a cool piece of math that I found interesting called a Penrose tile as a map to sort of break the form of a traditional hex crawl by utilizing its aperiodic nature as a randomizer. It creates sort of an infinite plane with no repeating pattern. So thanks so much for supporting the science fair, and thanks so much to all the trustees who made this bundle and everything possible. Thanks.
There you have it, some more games by Brain Trust designers, all a part of the Brain Trust Science Fair, available for $40 on itch.io. That's 23 games. These designers collaborate daily on the Brain Trust Discord, which is a design community where we all kind of uplift each other and create and play test games and just chop shop, where we talk shop. And what else do I want to say? Yeah, I just really enjoy it there, and I'm glad we all got together for this itch.io cut, so please check it out. We've got a ton more games left to see, so let's see what we got next.
Okay. Oh, hi. So, that game looks pretty cool, huh? Well, next I want to show you, this little machine that I made over here. Can you get that? Can you come in? Can you get that and come in? Hey, Jonesy, that's me. And I made this little machine over here. Can you see it? Can you see it? So this, I want to talk about my game. It's called The Phase. And it's this is really hard. Never been on camera before. So, it's this little machine that I made, and, when you get the game, you get, access to an email address, and you can send the machine 3 questions, and, when you send the machine 3 questions, you get 3 answers. So on one hand, it's a game, but it's also a game aid. You can use it. The cell keeps sneaking up on your face. You can use it for, you can use it to enhance your, you can use it to enhance your benevolence bond. You got one of those in the phrenology. You can also, you can do, sorry, this is really overwhelming, and, okay, we're gonna go to the next game, okay? Alright, bye, thank you, bye!
Hi, this is Simon with Color Spray Games, and if you've ever wondered what's so cool about Lucha Libre, good news, I've got just the answer in the form of a tabletop role-playing game. What's so cool about Lucha Libre is a hack of Jared Sinclair's What's So Cool About Outer Space, and it's a rules-light role-playing game where you take on the role of a technico, or a good wrestler, and you put on a magical mask which gives you superpowers, and you can use that to fight against rudos, or bad wrestlers. In addition, you also fight evil wherever it might manifest, whether that is the form of hell vampires from the moon, or superpowered ice agents who are trying to oppress people. In this game, I've taken some different liberties with the What's So Cool About framework and added in some interesting new mechanics that I think are really exciting and really change the game in a more experimental way. For example, the super atake and the state of being en fuego. When you play the game, you can charge up a dial, sort of like a combo bar in a fighting game, and when you fill that up, you can perform a super atake to do all kinds of cool things like destroying waves of minions, or bringing your friend back from the brink of death, or breaking down a boss's defensive wards. In addition, because you have this magical mask, you can see the world for how it really is and step between both our physical world and the spirit world. When you die in the game, you become phantasmal instead and enter the spirit world, and you can navigate that and have its own adventures in that whole separate universe. In addition, if you're not dead, you can just choose to become phantasmal anyway and travel around in the spirit world and interact with all kinds of magical beings, but best not to stay there for too long because everyone knows that you are secretly immortal. So, if you are really interested in a game that blends elements of Lucha Underground, Guacamelee, and a little bit of Streets of Rage and the films of El Santo, I think you're going to find a lot to love in What's So Cool About Lucha Libre. Please check it out.
The science fair.
Where the hell did I leave that game? No Stone Unturned is a tabletop role-playing game about exploring a world long after societal collapse as the settlement is starting to pick up the pieces. It's a game that's focused primarily on the effects of that type of exploration, of looking into places where you don't belong and where other things and people live, and where the world is maybe unstable from whatever happened before. The game has you examining your effects on those places and their inhabitants as you go there with the intent of bettering your own lives, and also has you turn the lens inward to examine the effects on your own characters. I think it does a pretty good job of exploring these topics, and perhaps you will too, so give it a shot as a part of the Brain Trust Science Fair, where I'm hanging out with a ton of other cool games, which is neat. Another cool thing is that you can play the game on Roll20. I put in the work to get a character sheet on there so you can record all the relevant information and press buttons to do your dice rolls and stuff. If you're playing games online right now anyway, why not give this one a shot? It'll be fun. Thanks for tuning in.
And thank you for tuning in. Like I said before, this bundle is available now at itch.io. Let's get back to these wonderful games with Gordy Murphy's Mainframe.
Mainframe is a psychedelic cyberpunk hack of tunnel goons in which you play as mercenaries who specialize in hunting down and capturing or deleting corporate AI programs. In this game, you have no body. Your consciousness is permanently wired into cyberspace called Mainframe in this game, which is a weird, psychedelic, strange, trippy version of cyberspace generated by thousands and thousands of AI who study human behavior and try to simulate it. It was inspired by The Witcher, by Neuromancer, by Counterweight from Friends at the Table, and by some other Tunnel Goons hacks like the Yokai Hunters Society. It is about exploring a very weird version of cyberspace, about working against megacorporations trying to control Mainframe, and about the weird and strange AI that self-propagate in that digital space. In order to capture that feeling of kind of a weird psychedelic cyberspace, a lot of the art for this game was made using the Deep Dream generator, using some public domain or royalty-free images and some courtesy of Mike Winkleman, aka Beeple, and running them through this neural net that kind of applied all of these weird and trippy effects to them. So I wanted art that kind of mimicked this really strange psychedelic feeling that the game was going for.
Good morning, sweetie. How was your sleep? I figured as much. You slept in really late today. No, it's the weekend. You don't have anything to worry about. I wanted to tell you about this game I've been working on. Or rather, did work on. And I'm just releasing it now. It's called I Love You, I'm Leaving You. And it's this 2-player game where you touch each other's arms and take turns telling the story about a messy breakup. It's kind of inspired by this Nordic LARP tech called Ars Armandi, which is this safe and consensual way to play out sex scenes and LARPs. Yeah, I think so too. Anyways, I wanted to give it a try with you when you wake up. No, I don't think it's going to affect our relationship. Anyways, I'll see you when you get up.
Portrait in a Room of Mirrors by S. Pines is a solo play game of conjuring reflections that look into memories or a moment in time. Drawn into a room of mirrors, each mirror calls you, reflecting back waves of sensations that bathe your mind and pull forward memories, asking you to record them alongside the text that elicits these recollections. Portrait in a Room of Mirrors is an introspective experience of connecting the body to memory and reflecting on the embodiment experience of a moment. Portrait in a Room of Mirrors is also an experiment in creating spectral games without saying there is a ghost in the room, leading the player through the process of mediumship, embodying specters of themselves to be conjured and ultimately once again dissipate into the ether. It is a seance, an exploration of guided free writing to connect to past aspects of ourselves that continue to live within us as ghosts of ourselves, manifestations of sound and sensation and presence. Portrait in a Room of Mirrors by S. Pines asks players to conjure up these facets of themselves and, upon reflecting on a reflection, decide which get to stay, whose contact is most meaningful, and which of their memories they want to continue to haunt. Spend a moment looking into a mirror and ask yourself how you feel about the lingering of the thing that looks back.
Hi, my name's Dan Phipps. I'm fully half of Gen Room Games that's based in La Crescenta, California, America, and I'm here to talk to you today about Subway Runners, a tabletop RPG that's designed to go fast. How fast? Real fast. It's coming in hot. How hot? White hot. This game comes in so fast that you might think, how long does it take to create a character? Can you go to a website? You've already made a character. Now, what if you're GMing the game? How long does it take to GM the game? Can you prep to GM the game as quickly as it takes to go to a website? Yes. Can you prep? How about a premise? How are you going to get these games engaged? Go to a website. You go to a website. The website we gave you. You go to the website we gave you. Click the button, and you've got a game. You don't like the game? Click the button. You've got another game. You can do that as many times as you want. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's a Forge in the Dark game. Forge in the Dark games take a lot of overhead cognitively from the perspective of the GM. Here's what I'm going to tell you about that. We got consequences. How many consequences? We got magical consequences. We got mundane consequences. We got monsters. We got parts of monsters. We got component parts of monsters that result in different consequences based on the actions that your characters take. But hey, what if you don't know how to play Forge in the Dark games? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that you can look up these rules fast. How fast? We bookmarked the PDF. That's how fast you can bookmark. You can look up these rules. They are bookmarked for you to easily peruse and come up with on the fly. What if you don't want to read a whole book? We made a reference. So it's a one-page reference that you can look up to teach everybody how to play real quick lickety-split. Ooh, baby, it's so fast. Subway Runners is available as part of the Brain Trust Science Fair. It's really excellent. We'll think you'll enjoy it. You should try it out. It's about working for the subway system in a magical city that has a monster problem. I forgot to mention the premise at the beginning of this video. Enjoy!
We Who Seek Titans, brought to you by Floating Chair and Samuel Mendez, a cover of Viditya Villetti's We Who Seek Titans, done for the Acoustic Cover Jam. You are part of a group out to discover the parts of a Titan and what powers they may hold in hopes of reconstructing it. Using a modified version of the card game Solitaire, you play cards either from your hand or the play area to the foundation piles. Each play of a card reveals more about your character, their relationships, the Titan, or what they are seeking. There is no prescribed setting. These Titans could be mythological, old gods, mecha from a distant past, or near future. Dinosaurs, giants, science, or fantasy, or all of the above. You are world building and Titan building simultaneously. This is a GM-less game for one or more players. Please enjoy.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. You just caught me reading my game Chicken and Chips. What is Chicken and Chips, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Welcome to the Games Lab, where I do all my very important games writing. What is Chicken and Chips, you ask? Well, do you like British things? Do you watch Doctor Who? When you play that dragon game, do you do an accent that all your friends laugh at you about? Chicken and Chips will fix that. Chicken and Chips is an existential road trip game about the quintessential British experience of being really, really drunk after a night out. Getting in a taxi and terrorising a poor, low-paid worker because you want a kebab and all your friends want to go home and nobody can decide what to do. In Chicken and Chips, players decide what they want to do after the night out and all make an agreement that they then immediately break. You decide what's happened on the night and then you pick what kind of drunk you are. Maybe you're a fighter, maybe you're a lover, who knows? All you know is that whatever happens over the course of this game, you're going to swing wildly between two extremes and forget everything that's just happened before you go home in disgrace. Chicken and Chips really is the perfect summation of modern British culture. Buy it today.
There you have it, 23 games for $40 this Black Friday weekend only. Please check it out on Friday. That's when the itch cut is not happening, so we'll get all the proceeds. Please check it out. As you saw with me, these games are awesome. We've abandoned the conceit of the video to just say, check out our community, check out our games. Come join us. Come grab these games that I like so much. This is William signing off for the Brain Trust. Brain emoji. Handshake emoji. Brain emoji. Handshake emoji.